Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading an Arlecchino Accessionaire by me. So let's get into it. The House of the Hearth was not a quiet place typically. It housed many children. And so, that meant there would always be noise. But today, even that familiar rhythm felt a little too loud for your aching head. You were supposed to be resting. You knew that. The fever had been lingering since yesterday, creeping through your body like a slow burn. Arlecchino had told you, ordered you, to stay in bed. And you, of course, had other ideas. There were reports to check, medicine to distribute. The hearth didn't stop simply because you caught a fever. And you told yourself you'd do just a little bit of work, something light, and then rest. That was 3 hours ago. Now you sat in the main hall, hunched over some papers, fighting with yourself to keep your blurry vision steady. And you didn't even hear the clicking of her heels until they stopped right behind you. Lion. Her voice was calm and quiet, and you froze. Yes, Arlecchino? I seem to recall giving you very simple instructions. You winced, and slowly you turned in your chair to face her. She stood, tall as ever, her arms crossed and one eyebrow raised. Behind her, a few of the children pretended to tidy up the area, though it was very obvious they were eavesdropping. But there wasn't much you could say now. I was resting, actually, you said weakly. And she took a slow, deliberate step closer. In the main hall? You're sick, and you should be in bed. I'm fine. You lied, even as your voice cracked halfway through the word. And that did it for her. Her expression shifted from irritation to disbelief, then to something you could only describe as resigned fondness. She sighed, muttering under her breath. Stubborn as ever. Wait, you started, but she was already moving. In one swift motion, Arlecchino leaned down and swept you off your feet. Quite literally. Your eyes widened as your world tilted. Arlecchino! Her arms were firm and steady beneath you, one around your back and the other under your knees, and you instinctively grabbed her coat for balance as she straightened. Put me down! No, I won't. You tried again, your voice slightly higher. You can't just not hear. The children are. Her gaze flicked toward the side of the hall, where a dozen pairs of wide eyes were peeking from behind furniture and doorways. She gave them one sharp look. Not angry, just enough to make them scatter like startled birds. Then she turned her attention back to you, her lips curving faintly. Problem solved. You buried your face in your hands, mortified. I can't believe you just did this. Maybe you can't. But someone has to make sure you don't collapse in front of them. I'm sure that would be a lot worse. I wasn't going to collapse, you muttered, but she wasn't very convinced. You could barely hold a pen. You glared up at her. You were watching me? For how long? It doesn't matter for how long. Do you really think I wouldn't notice you sneaking out of your room? He groaned. So this was a trap. And she didn't deny it. As she carried you through the halls, the scene only grew more embarrassing. Children peeked around the corners, whispering. One even murmured, Never thought I'd see that. Before Arlecchino's icy glare sent him bolting in the opposite direction. There's a reason that she was called a rather cold father. Not that she wanted to be, but she'd gotten used to it. Arlecchino, please. Everybody's staring at us. Let them. If you don't want them to stare, then next time do not disobey my orders. You spluttered. So you're just making an example out of me? For your future self? Yes. Her tone was calm and very amused, and you could only just sigh as you realized how much she enjoyed this. By the time she reached your room, you'd gone from embarrassed to resigned. She nudged the door open with her heel, and then crossed to the bed, sitting you down with surprising gentleness. You tried to sit up again, but her hand pressed lightly against your shoulder. Absolutely not. No. You're overreacting, and you're underestimating how fragile humans can be when sick. You gave her a look. You say that like you're not one. I'm not most humans, she countered, and you groaned, rolling onto your side. You're unbearable. And yet, you still refuse to listen to anyone else. You couldn't argue with that. Not when she was looking at you with that expression, that rare, unguarded softness that only surfaced when she was worried. And after a moment of silence, she reached out and brushed a damp strand of hair from your forehead. You're warm. The fever's still high. I told you I'm fine. She raised an eyebrow. You're delirious enough to think arguing helps your case. You smiled. You really don't pull your punches, do you? Not when it comes to you. Something quite settled between you, and she just sighs, squeezing your hand. Come on, you should go to sleep. And if I turn around and find you outside, I swear. You don't have to swear anything. I'm smart enough not to do that twice. But you're definitely stupid enough to pull it once. You laugh, and she smiles at that. And then she kisses your palm. And you sit there, while she waits patiently, until you drift off to sleep, which is an easy task, considering how truly exhausted you were.